We on? There we are. 4:29 p.m. Hello? We on? Good to be back on the air again. Hello? Okay. Yo, 38 seconds. Alright. Hello? Yeah, we on, Kyle? Hey, snoozer Kyle. We on? Alright, so it's that time. The Thursday. Mic check. Audio, video. Are we good? Kyle, we good? Love your icon, by the way. Chime in. Hello? Feel free to write in the chat. Hello? We good? Mic check? Audio check? Anyone? Alright, excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got a stream. Okay, excellent. We can hear. Mic good. Shit, we got a lot of people on tonight. On today. Hello. We are back. Hey, Abby. We meet again. Yeah. Usually, what's one nice thing about these Twitch streams is, we do these on Thursdays, and it's always nice when old friends, former students, alum, friends from industry also just drop in. Aye. Alright, excellent. Thanks, excellent. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Every Thursday for Introduction to Security. CS 116 at Tufts. Yeah, I didn't do any subs. I'm not having any subs here, so yeah, I don't want to ask people. Not yet. I mean, not no. I think it would be inappropriate if I actually ask people to subscribe, like to pay for subscription. No. I mean, it's just a step down in textbooks as a scam, but that's another thing. Hey, hello. One of the nice things about Twitch, uh, before I begin, you may be wondering why I do these, why I enjoy doing Twitch streams of the course. There's really three reasons. There's really three big reasons. Number one, it opens the course to the public. Cybersecurity education is it's desperately needed. Cybersecurity education is just so desperately needed. There, I can go on a vicious rant right now, and most, I always tell people, if you go to your friends that do civil and environmental engineering, you can't graduate with a civil and environmental engineering degree without learning about health, safety, critical infrastructure, security, that good stuff. But you can actually graduate with a computer science degree and not even know a damn thing about security, critical infrastructure, health, safety, and that's why we're in this hellhole, in this mess that we're in right now. Not good. So number one is to open up the education for the public, and yes, these Twitch streams are made available to the public. Number two, online education is not going away anytime soon. I really enjoy Twitch. It ain't Zoom. And a lot of people, especially if you're a gamer, you're familiar with the platform. I feel that Twitch it's not Zoom. It doesn't feel quote unquote formal. It feels like a more chill environment. So that's number two. I guess in terms of a 1A, I've done this. This is my 4th time. This is season number 4. Yeah, season number 4 of me doing these Twitch streams. And when you invest so much time and energy into doing these things, you just can't stop. You just can't stop. But number 3, hey, Freedom Pfeiffer. Freedom Pfeiffer is an old former student. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in, as usual. But there's a third reason. If you take a look at, who's on this stream right now, there is a little quote unquote factor of an anonymity. So one of the nice things about being on Twitch is you can participate on the chat. You can participate in the chat. I mean, at the sitting, no one really knows how many people are actually in the class, quote unquote. Also, you're mixed in with professionals and alums and friends, so you feel blended in. So that's a nice factor for doing these on Twitch. One big change this year, for this year, one big change, and it's a good change for everyone. I finally got I finally got Amazon Prime. So what that means is, why does that matter? What that means is all these Twitch streams are now are recorded, and instead of lasting 2 weeks, they last for a little longer. I think they last for 6 weeks, which isn't bad. I mean, anyway, I still export them to YouTube for closed captioning purposes. But now these are going to be on saved on Twitch for a little bit longer of a time. Yeah, and you can watch them anytime that you want. So, welcome to Introduction to Security, CS 116, season number 4 on Twitch. Also, this is my 11. This is now officially my 11th year in a row teaching this course. And for the very first time, also, the very first course, the very first lecture day, which is today, the very first class, is made available on Twitch. Yeah, usually I do this on Zoom. The first day is either on Zoom or in person, but the first time we're actually going to be, we're doing for day 1 of the course on Twitch, made publicly available. Let's get started right away. And I'm sure that, and what we're gonna do for the next, we're gonna do a couple of exercises. Live interactive exercises. Now I urge you to please keep it clean, and I'm gonna actually make you use the chat feature. Okay? One of the nice things is, unless your handle has your first name, last name, or no one really knows if you're a cat or a dog. Hey, but yeah, it's now time to chime in. We're gonna do a few live interactive exercises. We'll get started right away, right now. So number 1, the first exercise is, when you hear the term cybersecurity, name one topic that comes to mind immediately. Let's go. Fire away. One thing. If you hear the term cybersecurity, name one topic that comes to mind immediately. Oh, here we go. Password encryption, hacking, social and okay. This is fast. Security plus spy. Information hacking. Oh, now we got country spam email. Ooh, love Mr. Robot. Actually, a lot of my friends have been consulted on the show. Now, a little bit about Mr. Robot. I might as well say it right now. Mr. Robot is probably one of the most realistic TV shows when it comes to hacking, because they actually consult with cybersecurity professionals. Hey, the dark web, reverse engineering. Have I been owned? Cyber warfare. Come on, go on. Come on. What else? You hear the term cybersecurity, name one thing that comes to mind. The first thing that comes to mind. Ooh. EASHB 354. Ooh. Ed Snowden. Interesting. APTs. Save that name for the last week of the course. Phishing, identity theft, credit card fraud, data breaches, passwords, throwing passwords. Oh man. How much is 1/10 of a Bitcoin now? Sheesh, how much is 1/10 of a Bitcoin? Whaling, Five Eyes. They're probably listening in on, the certain Five Eye organizations and countries, they're probably listening in on this. Okay. Doxing. Oh man. What else? Data leaks. Yeah, who stole your Minecraft account? I mean, it could be worse. I mean, if anyone played FIFA here, I mean, there's been big news about all the pro players having their accounts being broken into and all their good players being, like, sold and. Okay, alright. So there's a couple of reasons why I asked this question. The CDC, no, 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 not the health organization, not the whole health organization, but the cult of the dead cow. Hello, Leopard, how are ya? Yeah. So there's a couple of reasons why I do this exercise. This is the first exercise I do in my introduction to cybersecurity, in my introduction to security course. You may be wondering, like, what's the point? Holy, darknet diaries, leaks. I want to ask you, and of course I can't see a show of hands. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, this is a large, large chat stream. DDoS. Large chat stream. I mean, if you actually scroll up the chat, I can't because I'm looking at this on an iPad right now. I'm looking at this on an iPad, so I mean, I can scroll up, but it's like it's just gonna be way too long. It's a lot of topics. I mean, there's a lot of people. Lizard Squad, what the heck is that? Oh yes, Lizard Squad, DDoS. I mean, you name it. That's what I can see on my iPad right now. It's quite a list of topics, quite a list of things, quite a little. That's quite a long list, and the range and it's so broad. It is so broad. You see general news topics. You see news. You see topics that people are like. You may have never like. What the heck is that? You see countries. You see non-technical topics. You see technical topics. It's so broad. So broad. So many topics. And is there anything wrong with? Is there anything wrong with what anyone has typed in? No, absolutely not. Hell no. All those topics, everything that everyone have typed in. That's all cybersecurity. That's a lot of topics. That's a lot of stuff. Cybersecurity is extremely broad and is extremely overwhelming. It's a very overwhelming field. So reason number one, why I do this exercise immediately in my cybersecurity class is to illustrate just how broad the field is. And ultimately also now that also will set the gist of the course. Are we going to talk about all those topics? Most of it. Aha. So everything that everything has written, everything that everyone has written, we're probably going to cover 80% or 85% of what you typed in. Yeah. 80 to 85% of the topics that you typed, of everything that you typed in, we're going to cover in this course. It's a lot. It's a lot. Cybersecurity is a very broad field. It's also interdisciplinary. And that's what makes the field so hard, so difficult. But it also leads to another thing. Reason number two why I do this exercise. Now, one of the nice things about being on Twitch is I don't know if you're a student of the class or not. Whether you're a cybersecurity professional or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. What is important to know is this. After this, one of the other purposes of this exercise is for me to give a public service announcement. A public service announcement that you all need to hear. Because everyone, I don't care how good you are. I don't care what level, if you're learning cybersecurity or you're a professional or whether you're a cybersecurity luminary. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're 18-year-old, 6-year-old, 64-year-old, doesn't matter. But we've all gone down this road. And especially if you're in tech and you're in computer science and you're in computer science, whether you're a student or professional, you all have this problem. We all have this problem. That is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is real. Imposter syndrome is when you actually feel like you don't belong, you don't know enough. And I did that last, and the other purpose of that last exercise, that first exercise, is to illustrate there is no way that you're going to master everything. There is no way that you're going to know everything. It's just way too large. It is a perfectly okay. It is perfectly normal to have imposter syndrome, especially in cybersecurity. You got to be honest with yourself about that. Okay? Why is this important? Why is the topic of imposter syndrome? I see just why is that? Why? I can't tell you how many computer science students say I'm not good enough to be a CS. I'm not good enough to do X, Y, and Z. You know, I don't care whether you're learning computer science, you didn't, or you actually started programming when you're 6. It doesn't matter. Everyone is going to run into this problem. I still get to have the problem of there's no way that I can learn a lot. I learn everything. Can't. It's just way too much. Okay, and it's a message that I don't think get relayed to technical computer science and even engineering students and professionals enough. It's just too much out there. It's perfectly okay to not know everything. It's normal. Also, it's perfectly normal to be overwhelmed. Okay? It is okay to be overwhelmed. It is okay that you're going to feel stupid at times. That's going to happen for sure in this course. You're going to feel stupid. Okay? This is gonna, yeah, there are gonna be days like, oh my god, I can't grasp. That's exactly it. Especially for the first month or so of this course. You're not gonna know everything. You're gonna feel stupid at times. However, I will guarantee you one thing, and this has been the consistent message that I hear from students all the time after they take this, while they're taking this course, is yeah, there were times that I felt stupid. There were times I had no idea what the heck was going on. But this content matter and this course opened my eyes into a greater and a more worldly view of what I am learning and what I am doing and what I am studying. Because too often, especially when you're doing technical topics like computer science, it's so narrow and so focused. I like to go on a vicious rant and so too many computer science students think, oh, computer science is all about programming, theory, programming, theory. No, that's not. I mean, if that is your view of computer science, you've lost the game. Unfortunately, that's a common view. Or this one, which I really, really despise, is, oh, geez, my only career paths are in software engineering, programming, working at Facebook, Google, or Microsoft. Like that's it. That's the view. I can guarantee you, after taking this course, you have a more global view of what computer science and tech is. So it goes way beyond, program, theory, program, theory. It goes way beyond that. Okay? So those are the two reasons why I gave that first exercise. Number one, cybersecurity is very, very broad. It's very broad, very interdisciplinary, and very overwhelming, which leads to the public service announcement. So, this is important to say on day one. Now, before I get into the topic of what this course is and why cybersecurity, let's do another exercise, shall we? Exercise number 2. How do you secure an airport? It is. How do you secure an airport? You got guns. Lots of guns. TSA. Did anyone see the Keanu Reeves? Did anyone see Matrix 4? The new Matrix. X-ray security camera. Okay, prevent 5G. Let me just say I have no comment on Call of Duty. I have no comment. I heard today that Candy Crush Saga makes more than Call of Duty. I heard something like that. Not that one Call of Duty scene. Body check, mandatory pat down, access control. Okay, ID cut beer. Oh, Matrix. Did anyone see the Matrix 4? Is it any good? Get rid of the end. Hey. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now Air Marshal. Okay. Okay. Actually, you can secure an airport. You can. Okay, this is way better than in person. I have to say. Okay. This is make everyone get in there, get a. Oh, that's not a bad. Oh, okay. But then you get motion fences, minimize. Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good one. All right. So one of the things is now there's a couple of course the reason why when we do an exercise of it because there are reasons we do an exercise, but one thing that I did not realize until I were doing the stream right now is this question is it's really short, but it also leaves a lot of room for interpretation. Okay, I didn't give you completely what I had in mind. Okay, so Liam, all right, okay, so the answers are all over the place, which is fantastic. This is exactly what we want to do. But let me actually rephrase this question a little bit. Let me rephrase this question a little bit now. Let me tack it on. Okay, so the original question as you see out here is how do you secure an airport? But let me actually add a finer point to it. What if I change the question to how do you secure an airport 100%? How do you secure an airport 100%? The big difference, of course, there's a number here. There's a risk. So secure an airport 100% means no risk, like you completely risk averse. How do you change it? How do you secure an airport? Oh, you can secure an airport 100%. It's a very easy answer. Yeah, that's okay. Bullish token said bullish underscore token that don't let anyone in. Okay, the draconian chili wings, stop selling plank. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Define secure means no. Okay, how do you secure an airport means nothing like no. Oh, how do you define secure? No one gets in, no one gets out. No plane gets in, no plane gets out. Close the airport. You want absolutely. Yeah. You're not taking any chances. Cancel all flight. That's it. That's 100%. 100% security of an airport means shut the damn thing, shut it down. Shut down the airport. Completely. But what's the problem? What's the problem with that? What's the problem with securing the airport 100%? In other words, shutting it down. Removing the wings. We need airports. Why? Why do we need airports? Why do we need airports? Okay, I see unemployment. I see travel, shipping. Okay. If you want to actually say it in a nice, pristine way, travel, commerce, trade. Why? I mean, the real big reason? Money! You need an airport. Commerce. Travel. It's all money. Look, If you shut down an airport, 100%, if you shut down an airport, you kill the economy. Okay? If you shut down an airport, you kill the economy. Local, state, federal, and international. It gets better. Anyone from Louisville here? Anyone from Louisville, Kentucky? Anyone? Anyone? My old Kentucky home? Okay. If you're familiar with Louisville, if you're familiar with Louisville, the airspace, what's in Louisville? What's in the Louisville airspace? Yeah, there's Churchill down. Beautiful place, by the way. Um, the baseball bats, but there's something else that's really important in Louisville, especially near the airport. What is it? Does anyone know? Yeah, I know there's horses there. Yeah, I know we got Churchill over there. Something else. Oh, no, not the FedEx Hub, not the FedEx Hub. The UPS, yeah, Bullish Token guy. It's the Worldport, UPS Worldport. So if you close Louisville down, all your Amazon order, we're screwed. Okay? You close down Louisville, that airspace, okay? UPS Worldport, we're in deep doo doo. There goes your Amazon order. Okay. So that's what happened when you try to have 100% security or shutting it down. The same idea is if you want to secure a computer, well, don't have one. Hey, there you go. Let's end the course. K, thank, bye. Um, and that's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen. But let me flip the question to the other end of the extreme. How do you secure an airport 100? Instead of how do you secure an airport 100%, how do you secure an airport 0%? Okay. Or if you want to rephrase that question is, what happens if you have no security at an airport? There you go. If you have no security at an airport, now what happens? Now, okay, I sort of wonder what the guys. Okay, what happens if if you have no security at an airport? What happens? This is even a fun question. Okay, now you can let all the Call of Duty jokes in the world fly through. If you want no security at an airport, okay, here's a good one. Is anyone looking for a good movie? You steal an airplane. There you go. Okay, you got steal an airplane. Okay. Now, if you want no security at an airport, does anyone want to? Does anyone actually move everything? Okay. You can. Yeah, Grand Theft. I can't play Grand. As much as I love the premise of the game, I used to love it, but I got severe motion sickness. Okay, so now you all know. Oh, shoot. Hold on for a second. You want me to give you a real nice... Okay, so here. You want no security. Is anyone actually looking for a good movie? Have anyone ever seen the movie Airplane? Ah, shoot, I typed it wrong. It's okay. If you want no security at an airplane, just look at... If you want no security at an airplane, just watch the movie Airplane. Just, Liam Nielsen... No security. This is literally a movie about having no security at an airplane or an airport. I mean, this movie starred what? Liam Nielsen was in there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, this movie had what? Was this the one that had like the? Is this the one with the pilot sniffing glue or doing cocaine? Or certainly you can bring an AK-47 onto a plane. Yeah, that's zero security right there. So that actually is not going to work as well. Okay, if you want to have a good movie recommendation, go watch Airplane. Highly, highly recommend. I need it. Highly recommended. So, you can't have 100% security, but you also can't have zero either. So you have one or two ends of the extreme. But then if you take a look at everything else that everyone has written, Yeah, I mean, there are just so many different responses. I mean, you see TSA, metal detectors, software. You also have monitoring. You have what? I mean, the list goes on. But the first question is that you got to ask yourself is, what are you trying to secure? What are you trying to defend against? So that's an important question to ask. And there's no right or wrong answer here. And also, I didn't think about this until just moments ago. Is securing um, an international airport different than securing a really tiny municipal airport? Is there a difference? Is it? I think there is. All right. So, one of the things that, with any question in security, the answer is it depends. That's a very, very common answer with any question in cybersecurity. Also, if anyone a lawyer here, apparently that's how it's done in law as well too. The answer to a lot of questions is it depends. Okay, the cost of failure is the cost of failure is very different. Customs is very different. Different risk level. So the answer is it depends. What do you have to stand to What do you have to stand to lose? You have to ask a lot of questions. So the reason why I did these two, especially this second exercise, and this is a time where now I can actually elaborate on what this course is. What this course is and why cybersecurity. So, what this course is, if I, so this cybersecurity course is, you're going to learn a little bit about a lot. I mean, this will go back to the first exercise that we do. It's going to be overwhelming. This is going to be a little bit about a lot. Um, Also, one other thing that's very important. Although you learn a little bit about a lot, the topics actually do depend on each other. There's a reason why I ordered this course in the following order: networks, attacking networks, cryptography, vulnerabilities, web security, static and dynamic analysis, and then malware. There's a real good reason. So, now topics build on each other. Also, extremely important. One of the biggest problems with academic courses is when you do assignments and labs, they're like one-offs. Okay, they're like one-offs. Um, you do the lab, you do the assignment, okay, thank, bye, that's it, and you don't think about it again until like a final exam or something like that. Here in the course, the skills that you get out of each and every lab, you're gonna need them later on. So don't forget about the stuff that you learn in the first lab. Especially the first lab is actually more important than you think, because the hands-on skills that you get in the first lab, which is basically playing capture the flag and learning about the command line, you're gonna need that throughout. Not only in terms of all the future labs, but also as a cybersecurity practitioner. If you're gonna be, if you're looking to be a practitioner in cybersecurity, okay. So labs and assignments in this course are not one-offs. They build on it. You're going to need the skills that you learned from the last lab and the last many labs into the future. Uh, yeah, I mean, one thing about, I think it's especially with this cybersecurity course, it's interdisciplinary. It's not all programming. In fact, programming is so not important. There's only two assignments, two labs in this course that have to do with anything programming related, and we're going to use Python. Okay. Um, yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be interdisciplinary. Are we going to talk about psychology? Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of psychology. I mean, why in the world do people actually use like PASSWD as a password? So you to remember, it's also very common. It's also unfortunately one of the worst passwords that people use, but people use it all the time. And by the way, congratulations to everyone, to those 9 of you, I think there were 9 people that actually got the access code to the course Piazza, the which is password. I said the password just because to illustrate the point. So what this course is actually is going to be a lot of. We're going to discuss a lot of trade-offs. We're going to discuss a lot of trade-offs. Why certain decisions are made. Okay. Now, if you're looking for final exams, rote learning, things are not going to change. The syllabus actually is actually going to be dead set. There's naturally no catastrophes in the world. You're looking for black and white answers like what they do in other courses. You're in the wrong course. Okay. In cybersecurity, one of why the course is so difficult is there's no black and white answers. Okay. There's no black and white answers. So if you're looking for like straight rigid stuff, this isn't. Do you recommend taking CS40 before? No, which is the assembly and machine language, yeah, computer architecture and assembly. No, no, you don't need it. I mean, it helps if you it will help, but it's not necessary. And there's one more thing, which is I'm not going to mention it. There is a greater goal of this course, but I'm not going to mention that until the last week of the course. Okay, once this is one thing. There's one more thing. I'm not going to mention it until the last week of class. Okay, there's a greater and a more ultimate goal of this course in cybersecurity. Okay. Yeah. What else? What else can I actually say? Question in regards to what the course website. Oh, yeah, I mean that's stuff I can do. Hold on. Course website cs116.org. Actually, it's https cs116.org. That's a public website. So this is the official course website. Yeah, it has its own domain. Um, Hardware, software requirements. So here's the deal. Here's the interesting thing. I think a lot of people ask, do we really need to have a virtual machine? Do we need to use virtual machines in this course? And the answer is no. Like the absolute requirement that you need is you need a computer um, with a browser and with a command line interface. You can use Mac OS, you can use Windows and Windows with a Linux subsystem. If you have Linux, that's great, or you can use a virtual machine. The problem with a virtual machine, as I'll demonstrate a little bit later on, it's a pain in the ass. I remember there was a couple years when I actually required virtual machines on computers, and 50 something percent of all the questions on Piazza were, oh, I got my virtual machine, it's all messed up. It's like it's no fun, and it detracts from from the actual content material. Worse is if you're on an M1 Mac. If you're on a newer Mac, on a new M1 chipset, virtual machine is not stable. Right now, if you want to use VMware is only a preview version only. There's still tons of bugs. If you have a Chromebook in this course, yeah, Chromebooks can't run virtual machines. But the most important thing is, yeah, you just need a web browser and you need a command line interface to run Unix and Linux command, by far and away. Wait a minute, that means if you don't use a virtual machine, doesn't it mean that I can install software on your own? Yep. I actually have a list of all the software tools that we'll be using in the course. So the reason why I gave this list is, if you're comfortable, if you want, you can install some of these software like when the time comes. Don't install them now. Don't install them now. But some of the tools, like you can go and install them on their own. On your own, they're all platform independent. You can use it for Mac OS, Windows, Linux, doesn't matter. Wireshark is one of those tools that I install as the first software I install all the time when I actually have a new machine of some sort. Yeah, we're going to mention some security tools, that we're going to use in this class, but they're not mandatory. So you may be wondering, in terms of the labs and assignments in this class, how the grading is. It's really straightforward. There are two sections of this course. Everyone's lumped into one piazza, but separate canvas for grading purposes. It's, just based on labs and quizzes. Just labs and quizzes. Labs are all hands on. Quizzes are multiple guess, multiple choice, short answer, really short answer. A little bit about the quizzes, how they work in this class. Is You may be like, holy shit, really? These are how the quizzes work in the class? Yeah, the quizzes they're open on like a Sunday, and then you have 1 week to complete them, untimed. Yeah, quizzes are untimed, so you have all the time in the world. You can do it in 15 minutes. If you were back in the good old days when I gave quizzes out on paper, many people will finish in 15 to 20 minutes. And the same idea with the quizzes, like you have all the time in the world, like literally unlimited time for 1 week. And here's the reason why I did this for quizzes. If you are actually like a professional student, there's a ton. There's actually a lot of professional students taking this course, and you get interrupted because you got to go on call. And you have to like be on call for something at work. And then that just kills your time, that kills your schedule right there. It's like, what? I'm on the middle of a quiz right now. Yeah, we don't want that. So it's 1 week, open for 1 week. I hand grade them. Totally don't disregard the grade that you get back on the quiz, because Canvas can't grade for crap. And the subjective reasons. Alright, course infrastructure. There's a public website. Now, you may be wondering, why in the world do I have a public? Well, the thing is the content is made publicly available to the world. There's a lot of alums and a lot of friends and a lot of industry professionals who actually want to see the content of a cybersecurity course. Many people around the world use this for reference. And so there's a public website that shows what this course is. And again, as I said, like right when I started the Twitch stream, I said, cybersecurity education is just so badly needed right now. Here it is. So, labs, quizzes on Canvas. Most labs are made publicly available anyway. Except for 1, 2, 3, 4 that have a real target, like a real IP address that you have to hammer, or or a website that you need to break into. Those are the only couple of labs that are not made public available. Announcements, discussions were on Piazza. Now, interestingly enough, I want to mention this about Discord and Slack. Please do not use any academic, like to use them for academic. Look, Discord is like a chill out area, especially if you're taking this course online, or how do you feel part of the community? How do you feel part of the Tough CS community? Use the Discord. I mean, this is where you're gonna have fun. Like any enrichment stuff, water cooler banter, Discord and Slack. So the first quiz open. No, the first quiz is gonna open. Oh, that's actually okay. So here's a schedule. First quiz is gonna open February 20th. So you have until February 27th to do the quiz. So here's the schedule. The schedule is, here it is. A lot of different topics. Yep. These aren't made available yet. But the first lab is working with the command line. First lab is made publicly available. Yeah. First lab is made publicly available already. Again, there's a couple of labs that are not made publicly available because they're usually a real target. Usually you have a week to do a lab. Also, what's nice about this class is everyone gets an automatic 24-hour extension on everything. Yeah. Oh, I'll also mention this here. Um, I'll also mention this right now is if you submit a lab early, I can grade it. Or I usually can grade it, or I usually grade it early, and then you get a grade, but you get something back. Now, what's also nice is if you actually, if it's way before the due date, you have a chance to resubmit. Unlimited submission up to the due date. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's also malware analysis. Yep, we're going to analyze a real piece of Android malware. Yes, you're going to play capture the flag. Back twice in this course. Yes, you're going to do some programming. Yes, you're going to break into a website. Yes, you're going to crack passwords. Yes, you're going to actually scan and do reconnaissance against a target. Woody on? Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the on-campus, online, doesn't matter who you are. This is open to the world. Yeah, I mean, this whole this video, this session. Oh yeah, this is gonna be made available on Twitch and it's gonna be made available on Twitch and on YouTube. Probably send an announcement out in like 2 hours after we close this thing. Due dates on the due dates on Canvas. Absolutely accurate. All accurate. Yep. Yep. Yeah, if you haven't signed up, I signed up everyone automatic. If you already enrolled, automagically enrolled. If you are automatically on the course roster, I already put you on the Canvas. Can we resubmit after lab? Yeah. Yeah, you can. Can we resubmit after the lab is graded? Yep, you can. YouTube channel? I have no idea. It doesn't have a nice URL because I'm not famous enough. Bastards. Yeah, I'll just send that link after I export the Twitch stream onto YouTube. The only reason why YouTube is there is because of archive purposes and also closed captioning for videos for the those who needs accessibility. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep, and here is the schedule on Twitch. We're gonna do this every Thursday, almost every Thursday. Now, here's how the Twitch stream works, like the Thursday. So, if you're in the Tuesday, Thursday class, don't go to class on Thursday. Just come on Twitch. Maybe why Twitch? Again, as I said earlier, I make these publicly available. It's public service for people, especially if you want to learn. And there's a ton of people that want to learn cybersecurity. But the other thing is that anything that's hands-on or exercisey, I do so much better online. Way better online. Topics that are not going to be covered. Whole bunch of Q&A. This is the most important part. Is there a textbook in the course? No, please don't. No, there's no textbook. Textbooks are a scam. Are there any teaching assistants of the course? Nope, just me. The buck stopped with me. And you may be wondering, why is there no TAs? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the biggest reason of them all is the biggest problem I have, especially with undergrads, is that, there's students that just TA their, quote unquote, TA their way through a program. And then, of course, a lot of people just feel so afraid to ask the instructor for help. It's like, what? So that kind of sucks. I mean, it's like, really? Yeah, can I recommend this my non-friend? Yeah, they can. I'm not going to grade their lab, though. I mean, you can have their video. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Quintus SC. Yeah, you can do so. You go to school? Can the quiz be open many times? No, only one time. Good question. Quiz is only open one time. Yeah, and so going back to the question of why there's no TAs, the buck stopped with me. Like, if you actually want help, you just ask me directly. There's no way to shy away and ask the TA. Also, I know a ton of people, a ton of students actually try to quote unquote TA their way to it. That's not good. You don't learn shit if that's the case. And the other thing is, if I work with you, I get to work with you. Okay? So, this is actually a nice opportunity. I get to know you. So, that's why there's no TAs for the course. What's the workload like? This is important. So, I actually have listed the workload in terms of expected number of hours here. they could be a little off, or they could be like way undersold. But generally speaking, um, there are going to be a couple labs. If you don't do it in 15 minutes, you did something terribly, terribly wrong. You did something terribly, terribly wrong. You're on the oh shoot, your wait list. If you're on the wait list there first, yeah, I mean your chances are you probably are good. I can't promise you anything, but your chances are pretty good. Here, let me just set the expectation. Okay, let me set the expectation for this class. A couple of them. Number one, have fun. The most important thing is by far and away, have fun in this class. Okay? Have fun. And you can ask any former student, anyone on the stream, like, have fun. All the labs and everything's all hands on. Have fun. That's really important. Number two is I actually will implement something this starting this semester. If you're going to ask about if we have a final exam in this course, you lose one letter grade. That's it. If you're going to ask about if there's a final exam, if you're going to ask that question, it's one letter grade down. That also being said, this year for both sections the assessment is consistent, just labs and quizzes only, no final project at all. How it's gonna? I think in terms of when this course will be over, that's once we hit the last day of class, that's it. We're done, and I submit grades by Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, Cinco de Mayo will be the day I actually submit all the final grade. Okay, thank bye. Yeah. Um. What else? What are questions you have? So CS16 https://cs116.org. Do you teach this class every semester? The answer is yeah. Fall, spring, fall, spring, fall, spring. I'm not teaching this summer. Um, I used to teach this 365 days a year, something like that. For holy shit, how what? Spring 2000 since 2017 I taught this what? No. 2018, 19, 20, 21 for a good 4 years I taught this like every semester including the summer. Starting this summer I'm not teaching at all. I burned out last summer. It was bad. So I'm going to teach it only in the fall and spring. Yeah, only in the fall and the spring. Any other questions? Feel free to ask away. Feel free to ask away. Anyone else? Any other questions on? This is one of the nice reasons why we're on, on Twitch is no one knows you're a cat or a dog if you're asking a question. Why using? Oh, that's a good question. Why am I using Firefox? Firefox is the one I use for teaching purposes. My primary day-to-day browser is Brave. I use Brave as my day-to-day, but I separate my personal stuff and work stuff. So, like, Firefox is quote-unquote my work environment. Good question. Can I use my Prime sub? Sure, I guess. When will you know if any are waitlisted? I don't know. But I think here, put it this way. Your odds are good. If you're waitlisted, your odds are good. Not the latest date. I would say the latest date, wait till like, well, it's only 10 people on the wait list, right? Wait until like next Friday. Wait until next Friday, Abby. Next Friday, wait list. Anyone else? Question? Can on to no. Or it's only for the online master student, or if there's like an extraordinary circumstance. This is a thing. I mean, Tangled Tris. That's a good question. You know what? Now it's interesting because we have an online master's program and we have an in-person course. There's like what? What are the courses that are like in person versus online? Algorithms 160. There's this. There's machine learning. I mean, can you imagine the floodgates if we actually did that? If we actually had on-campus students actually switch to the online version of the course? Oh, so far we haven't figured that one out. The virtual machine would no. Would the Halligan machines used in many other? No, 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 no. Don't. Good question, Ray. Dang, 2014. That's a good question. No, don't do that because it's pretty locked down. It's pretty limited. No. Is it possible? Is people in the waiting list possible to enroll? So that's a mess. That's a little different question than before. So as far as I know, if you're on the wait list, you should have access to the Canvas. If you're actually on the official wait list, you should be on. You should have access to the Canvas. I think all I need to do is like I don't need to do a thing until like if everyone stays or something. I just have to send a note to the registrar. I could just let everyone in. If you are actually on the wait list, you should be on Canvas, which is a good sign. Okay, if you're on the wait list, if you're not on the wait list, you should out of luck. All right. Any other questions? Anyone? Anyone have any questions here? Again, nice thing if no one knows if you're a cat or a dog. What are you drinking? Good question. I can tell you what I'm not drinking. Alcohol. I quit drinking this summer. I can tell you that much. I don't drink. I quit alcohol. So that's number one. Number two, it is green tea, lemon, and ginger. How much time do you think? Oh, that's a good. Oh, okay. That's a good question. How much time do you think we need to digest the material to keep up with the pace? Look, okay, okay. ZHJ, that is a great question. That is a good question because here's how I designed this class. I know I'm on video. I know this is being recorded, but I can tell you what I don't want. By the way, I love the guy that I love Norman Ramsey to death. I'm not making this course where it's not. This is not CS. This is not CS 40 or CS 105 where you spend 30 to 40 hours a week on labs and assignments. I'm not going to do that. The labs are due on campus. I'm not doing that. Okay. At the very most, again, at the very most, in terms of your time commitment for the course, I say no more than 10 hours, no more than 10 hours a week. Absolutely not more than that. And here's the reason why. Like, this is just not a course. Okay, let me just say, because this is not a course where you're going to be like sleepers for the week, 30, 40 hours a week. No. The reason why is this. Does anyone actually know what when I give a cybersecurity job interview, when I give one, you know what my first question I ask is? You know what question I ask? The first job interview question for cybersecurity role. Tell me about why. Tell me how. Like, tell me about your extracurriculars in learning cybersecurity. Look, I didn't go to school for cybersecurity because it wasn't even a thing. I mean, hell, back in the days in cybersecurity, it was looked upon as, oh, it's only the 400-pound hacker out in the basement or just something. And those days are over. Okay? It wasn't even treated seriously. And of course, because of all that shit, we're in the same problem that we have here. We learn cybersecurity from professionals, from conferences, from talking to people. Okay? Most of us old timers, how we learn cybersecurity from other people, from groups, from conferences, meetups, those extracurricular activities. You want to learn cybersecurity, okay, your best way is outside the classroom. By far and away. And this message is going to resonate a little bit later on this course. Okay? Yeah, I sleep well now. I mean, it wasn't the case during the summer. Oh, it was bad during the summer. Don't want to get into that topic. Oh, um, the other thing, like, seriously, like, you want to learn cybersecurity, the best way to learn is not in the classroom. It's outside the classroom. I know Matt Weinberg, who's the vice president of a certain very famous investing house. I mean, it's a partner in crime, and that's his job interview question. Like, tell me about the activities that you do in cybersecurity. Like, you know what? We rather see a person tinkering away with a Raspberry Pi or tinkering with with virtual machines or um, that kind of stuff than the classroom work. Seriously. Um, so if this course was 30, 40 hours a week of work, it completely detracts the most important learning, the most important way you learn outside the classroom. That's why, in terms of time commitment for this course, I keep it at a certain point, low. It ain't 30, 40 hours of work a week. Because if you want to learn cybersecurity and you want to learn the thing well and you're really invested in it and you're really interested, all of that stuff is done outside the classroom. Yeah, is there a reason? So that's number one. Also, the other thing I want to say is one thing I don't believe in is the a quiz grade is like a 30 out of no, I don't do that. I'm looking at you algorithms. Yeah, what is that? Is it 40 out of 100 still like an A plus or something like that? All right, sorry for my jab. Yeah, is there a specific reason why Lab 1 is due and can't do at 3 a.m.? All the labs are due like at 3 a.m. Uh, time zone. Because there's some people taking this course in the Pacific time, so 3 a.m. is what, 12 a.m.? Yeah, good question. How much will you sleep and work? I try to get eight. That's a really good question. These days, you got to get 8 hours, 7, 8 hours of sleep. I can also tell you one of the biggest changes I made. Those days of actually going to working at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Those days are over. You can't do it anymore. How much collaboration on labs is too much? I wouldn't share the answer, but yeah, you can absolutely. That's an important question, Quintisec. And there's a lot of cybersecurity professionals on the stream. They'll tell you cybersecurity is never an individual effort. When you do this in the real world, it's always with team and other people. What are some good outside classroom? I actually wrote it. Hold on. What are some good outside classroom projects get started on? Oh, fuck this. Bing. Let's send this link. Yeah, anything interesting I should look into in Raspberry Pi? Well, yeah, build a pie hole. So I sent that link for Nick Gannon 10. Yeah, you want to have a good Raspberry Pi project? Good Raspberry Pi project? Yeah, an ad blocker, a network-wide ad blocker for your house, Pi hole. Subjective factors. Yeah, subjective factors. Yeah, what are those? If I know who you are, if you actually ask good questions on Slack, oh no, not Slack, on Piazza, if you're here, those things. The subjective factors are those. Ask good questions on Piazza, and even here as well. That's a good question. Any suggestion for getting this email? Yeah. Yeah, any suggestion? If you don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, okay, so that's important. What's a Raspberry Pi? A Raspberry Pi is just a $35, it's a $35 computer. But you can make like web servers and all that stuff with them. Yeah, Micro Center have a bunch. They should have a bunch of them. Micro Center, and if they're out, buy a kit from like Best Buy online. Yeah, but everything is out of what isn't out of stock these days. I mean, it could be worse. You could try to buy a GPU. Yeah. Okay. Anyone have any other questions related to the course? We're gonna get started right away on day one. Next Tuesday is when I do networking. Yeah, next Tuesday we do networking. Micro Center have plenty of them. Now, okay, I'm gonna quit this damn thing. I'm gonna quit the browser. What is? I do need to come back to this one. Like, um, what is security? If there's one thing that you're gonna take away today is what's the textbook definition of cybersecurity? Every single textbook in cybersecurity is gonna give you this. It's called the CIA triad. The CIA triad. The definition of security boils down to three letters: C, I, and A. 3 words: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Why is this important? Well, you're gonna see the CIA triad and these 3 words: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, used throughout, not only throughout this course, but also in cybersecurity in literature, Stack Overflow, Apple security updates, Windows security updates, white papers, list goes on. Every single textbook will say this is the quote unquote definition of security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So what does that mean? So now what that means is this: if I'm a doctor, okay, and I want to, and let's say Nick Gannon 10 is a patient, you would hope that any message or any information I channel to Nick Gannon 10 is only between me and Nick Gannon 10. It doesn't, and that information is not actually made available to polar bytes or control bytes. No. That'll be a violation of confidentiality. It actually gets even worse because in the medical field there are privacy laws such as HIPAA. Okay, you recommend bringing your computer to a lecture or taking physical notes. You can bring your own computer. Physical notes? Yeah, sure. You can take physical. Physical notes are good because they actually help your brain. Integrity. Okay, what integrity is that if I'm trying to send Polabytes a package, I'm trying to mail you a package, you hope that that package doesn't get laced with like weed or some like illegal substance. Okay, so is that the information or the package that I send to Polabytes doesn't get like laced with like malware, weed, illegal substance, whatever it is. Why the hell is availability a part of security? Does anyone know why? Why is availability so important for security? I'll give you the quintessential example. You know that when Facebook goes down, someone's going to call 911. And you know people do that. I mean, wouldn't you freak out if you can't get access to Gmail or any critical service that you need? This is what happened in 2017 in the UK, in the United Kingdom. Hospitals had to cancel a whole bunch of critical surgeries because the computer system were hit with WannaCry and ransomware back in 2017. Sad. Not good. Not good. So, the CIA triad, C, I, and A: confidentiality, integrity, availability. Throughout this course, you're actually going to see all the words used quite often. You're going to see CIA used a bit often, not only throughout the course, but also in literature as well too. Stack Overflow posts, you name it. Okay. Yes, we're going to talk about how you violate the CIA throughout the course. We're also going to talk about protecting as well too. One more thing, if you're going to immediately after today, like immediately what you're going to do, between now and I think next week, polish and build your hands-on skills. What do I mean by that? The number one important skill that you gotta get, you gotta start doing today. You want to be, especially if you want to be a cybersecurity practitioner, is to get good with the command line terminal. I repeat, get comfortable in using the Linux, Windows, Mac OS terminal, Linux-based commands. Why? Why is it so important that you get comfortable with using the command line. So if you're on Mac OS, you just use a terminal app. Okay? Why is it so important to be comfortable with the command line? Well, we're all typists by nature. We're fat. I mean, that's number one. Number two, um, a lot of tools, especially cybersecurity tools, and even a lot of tech tools, are all based or all chained upon basic commands that are built in. So you have tools built upon other tools and commands. And yeah, I mean, lots and lots of tools. Just use like a bunch of these commands. That's number two. Number three, when you break into a computer and when you gain remote access to a computer, legally or illegally, you're typically not going to have a nice graphical interface where you use a mouse and everything. You're going to only have, a terminal. And so it is so important to get comfortable with the command line, given those reasons. So if you're on Mac OS, you can use the terminal app. If you're on Windows, you can use PowerShell or WSL. The Windows, what is it called? It's basically Linux for Windows, but it's now built in. Windows has a real awesome terminal app called Windows Terminal. Highly recommend it. If you're on Windows land, strongly recommend that you use Windows Terminal. But before you do that, you should enable a WSL, Windows WSL, which is the Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay. So, what commands do you actually have to get familiar with first? Yeah, certainly the man command, MAN. Which manual page do you want? Well, let me just do a command, ls. ls is just to list all the stuff on your current working in the current directory that you're in. Yeah, that's actually my home directory. Yeah, I'm showing you my home directory. This is my home directory. I have all the folders. So if you want to get more information about a command that you type in, ls is for list, and list content, list directory content. Yeah. So you actually see what the name of the command, what it is, and all the different flags. SL is the best. What is SL? Polabyte. What is SL? Oh, man Vim. Vim is a text editor. Yeah. Man Emacs. Emacs is a text editor. Okay. CD to change directory if I want to go into the malware directory. Man CD. Oh, one of those ones. Clear to clear the screen. Man clear. Clear the terminal screen. Okay. No, Windows Terminal, no, they don't serve the same purpose. That's a good question. They don't serve the same purpose. Windows Terminal can be used for WSL, PowerShell, or CMD, the three different environments. Think of Windows Terminal as like an umbrella, a shell. But before you actually can use Linux commands on the Windows Terminal, you have to enable WSL. Okay. Now, if you want to do, there's so many commands, so many command line stuff. cfn16.org. Let's go to the public version of the lab. RM to remove a file, maker to make a directory. List goes on. List goes on. Now, oh shoot, I have to change the link here. That thing is broken. Yeah, how do you load a file from the internet. There's a couple ways to do that. Also, what's nice about this, a lot of questions here, there's more than one answer. Okay? What the hell is this? Ping command. What is that? Send an ICMP echo underscore record. What does that mean? Well, what does that mean? So this is a good transition into next week. Next week we'll start to talk about what packets are. What ping is basically a check if a computer, a remote computer, is dead or alive, up or down, up running or not. Okay? Yeah, exit out of it. What's man exit? Exit, process complete, quit out. Now, okay, one last thing is that you may be curious, what the hell is this virtual machine business? A virtual machine, think of a virtual machine as running a computer on top of another computer. So I'm running the VM Fusion Tech Preview, not stable. For the new Apple M1s, I had to install, I'm going to run something called Kali Linux, which is a Linux distribution running on top of my Mac. Now here's the good news. What Kali Linux is, for those who do not know, go to kali.org, is the most advanced penetration testing distribution. Kali Linux is an open source, Debian-based Linux distribution geared toward various information security tasks such as penetration testing, security research, computer forensics, and reverse engineering. What that means is Kali Linux has all the security tools all built in, all installed into one nice environment. Okay? So, what a virtual machine is, think of it this way. A virtual machine is running a computer on top of a computer. In this case, Linux running on top of my Mac OS. I installed this on my own. You can do this too, but it's not required for the course. What is really, really nice about a virtual machine is any mistakes that you do in this environment stays in this environment. It doesn't escape out to your main machine or your host, also known, in this case, my Mac. So you have a computer running on top of a computer, which is nice. So any dirty, sinful business that you do inside the virtual machine should not escape out to the Mac OS. This is important, especially for things like malware analysis. But Kali Linux is recommended. Why I recommend Kali Linux for cybersecurity? Because it has so many cybersecurity tools built in. For like web application analysis, password attacks, wireless attacks, reverse engineering, exploitation, you name it. There's going to be a number of tools that are already built in, so you don't have to install anything onto your main machine, in this case my Mac OS. Everything's in one environment. Is this how torrents work as well? No. This is not how torrents work. Although you can actually run a torrent in here if you want. But one of the things about Kali Linux, it has a terminal. There you can also practice a command as well too. Like everything that you should be able to do you should be able to do almost everything that you did on what I just did moments ago on Mac OS here on the Kali terminal. Like man. Interface system manual. LS. Okay. Workspace. CD workspace. LS. Ooh, I have some files here. What happens if I want to echo a file, like take a look inside a file? Cat, set to it up to cat. Ooh. Good question. If you are actually on, if you're on Mac OS M1, the latest Mac, you need to do the bare metal one. Yeah. So Kali Linux is nice, but it's not mandatory for this, not required for this course because it can be more of a pain in the ass. If you're on an M1 Mac, unless you know what the hell you're doing, unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't recommend a VM if you're on a newer Mac. But it is nice when you actually have all the tools to your disposal, because like next week we're going to talk about things like Wireshark. What the hell is it? Sniffing and spoofing. Here's Wireshark running inside of Kali Linux. I'm going to go to my Mac. I'm also going to run Wireshark. This is Wireshark for Mac OS. Same tool, Same tool. But what's nice is anything I do in the virtual machine should stay in the virtual machine. So what is Wireshark? Stay tuned next week. We're gonna talk about networks and attacking networks next week. Starting next week, we'll get into networks. And that is all, folks. That is all. You're on Kali Linux. Get Kali. Okay, here we go. If you're on a Windows or Linux based machine right now, use the virtual machine app. Bare metal, you're gonna need bare metal if you're on Apple M1. That's the only option for if you have an Apple M1. But you have to install everything on your own on the virtual machine. So that's why it's like pain in the ass to do. Should take like, for me it takes 30 minutes probably, and you, for most of you who are learning this stuff, I think like over an hour. So that's all, folks. That's all we got. So next week we'll do networks and packets and Wireshark. See you next week, all. Take care. Bye. Yeah, thank you. I said shut the thing down. Oh, it did.